everyone, this is Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and today we're driving the 2022 Mini Cooper John Cooper Works Convertible. We're in for some proper hot hatchery today, even though this is technically not a hatchback, but you can get this exact car in hatchback form. Obviously this one doesn't have a roof, so not technically a hatchback, but I'm so happy that cars like this still exist in America. We're down to just like, what, 3 or 4 of them at this point, but the fact that they're still here at all is absolutely amazing. I love that with the convertible Mini Cooper, the trunk opens like a truck. You have like a little tailgate in the back that allegedly can hold up to 176 pounds. Exterior wise, this is finished in pepper white. We've got red mirror caps and black bonnet stripes, and they are the JCW bonnet stripes because they've got the little red pinstripes on either side. Also with the JCW, we've got different wheels, slightly different front fascia with the little red lip gloss right along the front there. I think this thing actually looks really nice, and especially in its hardtop form, it looks absolutely killer. So before we go out on a drive, let's go ahead and put the roof up by holding our lock slash little mini button here. As you can see, there it goes. That'll now go all the way up, and then this top part slides forwards while the windows come up there. And that's it. That is the roof fully up. And of course it does the opposite. If you hold the unlock button, it will put the roof down for you. But now that we've got the roof up, I want to show this other little feature back here. There we go. So you've got this feature called Easy Load, where you move those little levers, and then you're able to more easily put things back here into the boot. So that's pretty cool. And then once you're done, you just, wherever the lever went, yep, like so, push down and relatch the back of the roof here, just like that, and then it's relatched. So that's pretty cool. Pretty good stuff. We've got our center exit exhaust, which actually sounds quite a bit sportier than just the normal S that we were driving last month. Still have these Union Jack taillights, slightly different wheels on this John Cooper Works car. Here it is with the roof up. I don't know, I think the philosophy and idea of a convertible Mini Cooper is not exactly what I would choose, but it is so much fun to drive this thing with the roof down and just hear that exhaust with all those fun little pops and burbles and farts between gear shifts, and it makes it quite a bit of fun. In order to save our audio today, I'm going to be driving the car with the roof up, but you'll still be able to hear plenty of that sound even with the roof up. So let's go ahead and start this thing up here. Actually, I'll start it with the door open so you can hear it. Got a little bit of a soft limiter there at like 3,500 RPM. So definitely a little bit of a sportier noise there from this John Cooper Works. Onto a couple things that are different from just the normal S car. We are limited to only an 8-speed automatic in this car. We do have some nice steering wheel mounted paddle shifters that are very quick, very responsive, but you cannot get the 6-speed manual with the John Cooper Works. So that's a little bit of a disappointment if you are a manual transmission person and you want the highest performance Mini Cooper. You got to go with the 8-speed, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, and we'll get into that once we're actually onto the drive. As far as interior goes, we have these really nice Alcantara sort of square style stitched seats that look really nice. They've got a really nice cloth material here on the side and leather on the very far outside. The top part here is all one piece with the headrest. I think these seats look absolutely epic. I love a good special sports seat for a top trim car. As far as infotainment, same as the normal Mini. We've got wireless Apple CarPlay here, and if we go back to just our Mini menu, you know, it's just like a scaled down version of BMW's iDrive. When you're in Apple CarPlay, everything works as it should. I haven't really been having any problems with that so far. Down here we've got our normal array of toggle switches, of course, for the start-stop for the engine. auto start stop off, traction off, and then our drive modes, which I just put it into sport. We'll put it back into mid, which just means normal. It's our balanced setting. If you don't want to use your key to put the roof down, you've got a switch up here that will put the roof down, as well as our map lights next to that and our SOS button. This car has a Harman Kardon sound system, and if you're interested in that, go ahead back and watch Charlie's test of that. A couple USB ports down there as well, normal USB and USB-C. Nice that you have the option to choose. We've also got our iDrive selector down here that controls the infotainment if you don't want to use the touchscreen. I think it's cool when manufacturers add an option to have a dial down here so you don't have to get fingerprints on your screen or, you know, have your hand up here distracting you while you are trying to drive. This man likes the Mini Cooper. Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. He loves the Mini. He still loves the Mini Cooper. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and take this Mini Cooper out on the road and see what it's like to drive. I am very excited to see how this overall just compares to the normal Mini Cooper S. And if you haven't watched that review, go a couple weeks back. I did a review on a hardtop S with a manual transmission. So quite a different spec of Mini, different roof, different transmission, slightly less power. In fact, about 40 less horsepower than this car. So let's go ahead and take this thing out, see what it's like on the road. Our shifter down here acts just like a BMW unit. So if you want to go into reverse, you push up. You can see we've got our reversing camera there. Drive, you push all the way down. Manual mode is over to the left, and park is a button there at the top, and that will also put your gear stick back into the middle. Also just have a normal mechanical handbrake on this car, which means you can do lots of cool handbrake turns. Alright, so this Mini Cooper John Cooper Works produces 228 horsepower and 235 foot-pounds of torque from a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. That is about 40 more horsepower than we get from just the normal S, and you can feel it, especially with this aggressive 8-speed automatic. This thing is pretty proper quick. Let's go ahead and put this into manual and sport mode. Those gear changes are so aggressive when you're in sport mode. They're like Lamborghini Aventador kick you in the back of the head aggressive. Okay, maybe not quite that aggressive. All right, coming in now to the first corner. Might be setting records today with corner speeds, huh? Those shifts really hit you. I love cars that have that much character just in their gear shifts. Cars that just like fart between shifts like that are so entertaining to drive. Oh yeah, bumpy ride. This thing is like proper quick. That is properly quick. Wow. 0 to 60 is dealt with in about 6 seconds. Proper hot hatchery. I love when we have hot hatches. They're my favorite segment of car. Just because you've got so much character just wrapped up in this tiny little platform. They're so much fun to just rip around. Whether that be if you're ripping around corners or just going in a straight line, hot hatches are fun in every aspect. I would say we do still have a little bit of that softness carried over from the S. This car is still not quite, yeah, a little bit understeer there. This car is not quite as rigid as the older Minis were. That shows when you're going around hard corners. It does tend to understeer quite a bit. I shall demonstrate that now around this entrance ramp. Yeah, quite a bit of understeer kilometers through there just at 58, 59 miles an hour. But then you're able to exit the quarter and it just rockets off those gear shifts. Just in its normal setting, it does drive very smooth though. Don't think that these gear shifts are harsh when you're just driving in normal automatic, normal mid mode. It's totally fine. It shifts just like any other normal BMW 8-speed automatic, which is great. It's nice that you're able to drive this car like a normal car, but then if you want to drive it like a deranged menace, you can put it into sport mode, and it absolutely delivers that. So that's pretty cool. There are a couple of downsides to having the convertible. For one, when you have the roof down, the rear visibility is completely hopeless. There's none. I think that partially has to do with the fact that I have the seat down in its lowest setting, because I think if you sat higher, you'd be able to see over where the roof sits in the back. But if you are tall and you drive a Mini Cooper convertible, it is pretty impossible to see out of the back. Luckily, if you have the roof down, all of your sides have no blind spots, so it's not so bad to where you're completely blind, but it's definitely not ideal. I love the sound it makes when it changes gears. It's just enough to put a smile on your face. I should also mention that the ride is quite harsh. We do have a little bit of a brutal ride. I'm going to slow way down for this. Yep. It's a harsh ride, but it's not the harshest that I've felt. And you really have to expect this when you're getting a performance car. Being that this is the John Cooper Works, it is the most hardcore of them all. So it is a little bit bouncy. Before we get back, I definitely want to touch on price, because I think that is the number one thing that would kill this car for me. So the normal Mini Cooper John Cooper Works, just the hardtop, the base car, starts at $32,000. Now that is on par with a Hyundai Veloster N. That's also the starting price of that car, which I think is probably this car's biggest competition. If you are to opt for the convertible, that bumps you all the way up to $38,000, and if you get the iconic trim, which is what this car has, with the Harman Kardon sound, the leather seats, these nice premium seats, heated steering wheel, all of the nice options that are sort of BMW-ish and things that are luxurious, that puts you up to $46,000. This is almost a $50,000 Mini Cooper, and I just don't know how in any way, shape, or form that is justifiable when you can go out and spend $32,000, $34,000 on a fully spec'd out Veloster N with a DCT. So, I just don't really think that this car is really excusable in any sense, unless you are strictly into buying German cars or into buying BMWs. As far as this car goes, though, it's just all about fun. You've got your rowdy gear changes, your semi-loud exhaust. It's not, super loud to the point where you're like, how do they put this in a production car? But it's a little bit rowdy. It's a little bit fun for somebody that just wants to have mild fun in a little front-wheel drive performance car. I will say I've been having a lot of fun driving this. It has certainly put a smile on my face. I guess that's really all that matters, right? We can just forget that with tax, title, everything, you're going to be paying $50,000 for this car if you were to buy it. But this car did its job and put a smile on my face, and that makes me happy. I always like when I drive a car that is a little bit exciting, that has character, and this car certainly checks all of those boxes. Yes, it could be a little bit stiffer, the exhaust could be a little bit louder, it could be a little bit cheaper, but overall, I think that this is a good car. I don't really want to knock it for anything other than, what I've already sort of said that doesn't make sense about it. But anyways, that's going to wrap up our review today of the 2022 Mini Cooper S John Cooper Works convertible. one other thing I want to point out, which I did mention in my review of just the normal Mini Cooper S, this whole center console and handbrake design is very peculiar. If I pull the center console up here, you can see that there is a permanent scratch worn into this handbrake, and you're probably wondering, oh well, why is that? Well, because when you pull the handbrake up, it rubs on the center console, and being that this is an automatic, it's really not that big of a deal. You don't have to use it. But if you have the manual transmission car, you still have this design, and it becomes something very irritating, and it's very awkward to do anything with the handbrake unless you move the center console back. Then you get your full range back. But I just think that that is a little bit of an oversight in these Mini Coopers. But whatever. It's a fun car. It put a smile on my face, makes all the right noises, and I'm happy that we still have Minis in America, because they are still just such fun little cars. All right, everyone. Well, appreciate you watching me drive this little hot hatch that's not actually a hot hatch, but is a convertible, around the slightly altered test route today. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? How would you spec your Mini Cooper? Would you get a base, an S, a John Cooper Works? How would you do it? All right, well, again, thank you so much for watching. This has been Christopher Brower with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.